Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Critical and welcome back to another Snapshot video. We are looking at 20W49A and I am in the loading screen of the game this time because in order to check out one of the new features, we actually have to create a new world specifically with that biome, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that here. So, if we go into more world options, we can go into, I believe, single biome and then click customize. And from here, we should be able to click, Dripstone Cave. So these don't generate naturally. Let me make sure that actually did. Yeah, okay. These don't generate naturally in normal worlds yet because they're designed for the new cave like layouts and stuff, and they haven't added those yet. So the only way to actually look at this new biome is to do a single biome world. So we're gonna go ahead and check this out. There's one other thing added in the snapshot. This is actually a pretty small snapshot, but it's got some of the bigger features in it. So let's check this out. Okay, so we're in a flat world. Let's go into spectator and go down. And we should be able to see Dripstone caves. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I'm assuming these will change a little bit when the actual proper cave sizes come out, because these are probably meant to be generated with the massive biomes, or they are meant to be generated with the massive biomes, so it's going to be a little weird. This is strange that this can spawn in a pre-existing space. That's weird. But yeah, so as you can see here, these are kind of what these are going to look like naturally generated. There's also some large, like, stalactites and stalagmites made out of the full blocks, which is pretty cool. Luckily, this seems pretty abundant. Like, the dripstone seems pretty common in this cave type. I'm trying to see if there's any bigger sections. Yeah, here's a slightly bigger one. But you can imagine, like, if we have a huge room and there's, like, a ton of these filling like that, it would be pretty dangerous. I mean, I don't know if you can shoot these down, actually. I want to test that. Hold on, let's go into creative real quick. I forget if you can shoot these down with a bow and arrow. I don't think you can, but if you could... No. It'd be pretty cool if you could, like, shoot them and get them to fall, because that'd be a pretty fun way of taking out some people. I love the sound it makes, though. Listen to this. I know this is from last snapshot, but... Oh, it's just so cool. Yeah, so these are the new biomes. Obviously, again, we're not going to get to see these in, like, their true form quite yet. But it does get me kind of excited to check this out, because, I mean, it looks pretty cool already, and we're not even there yet, so I think this is going to be pretty exciting. There's also apparently water pockets that will generate. Maybe that's this right here. Yeah, you can see that there's little pockets of water that are going to generate now too, which is, I think, to signify that the dripstone from the top is like creating water pools down below. Let me see if I can actually find a better example of this in a slightly more abundant area. Here we go again. You can see there's a little water pocket there. There's some here. There's a little bit more right there. So yeah, as you can see, ooh, these can be waterlogged. I didn't even think about that. That's cool. So yeah, as you can see, water pockets are going to generate all around where these things are hanging from the ceiling, which is pretty cool, I think. But let's check out the one other thing that is in the snapshot real quick. This one is the Skulk Sensor. So this is, of course, the vibrations detector that they're adding. And let me get some redstone as well. So if we place down some redstone here, you can see it already did it. But this detects vibrations. Now that's different than sounds, and I have the menu pulled up over here of everything that it will detect, and I'm going to read that off real quick. They each have their own frequency value. I'm not going to read those off because they're just a bunch of random numbers, and I don't know really what that means quite yet. But just to give you guys an idea of what will trigger this: step, flap, swim, elytra freefall, hit ground, splash, wolf shaking, projectile shoot, projectile land, start eating, finish eating, hit entity, add item to armor stand, open block, close block, switch block, unswitch block, press block, unpress, attach, detach, open and close container, dispense failed, use flint and steel, place block, destroy block, place fluid, pick up fluid, cast fishing rod, reel in fishing rod, extend and contract pistons, explosions, and lightning strikes. So all of these have numbers next to them of, like, I guess how intense the output is. Although I don't really know how that works because it says step is a frequency of 1, but that seems to be sending out a full signal. So I don't know what that entails, but if we summon lightning bolts, you can see that does the same thing. That seemed to send it about the same distance, so I don't know necessarily what the thing is, but basically anything and everything can trigger this that makes an impact with the sound. It can't just be any sound. Like a sheep making a noise isn't going to set this off because it's not a vibration, but the sheep walking will set off this. So that is very interesting. I'm surprised that sheep eating grass isn't one of the, or maybe it is. Maybe that counts as one of those random things. But so we have these now. I know these can be used to, like, create basically a wireless set of redstone. So if we go, like, every couple blocks here. They're all triggering one another now. This is not what I wanted. You know what? Let's place... Hold on. I have a better way to test this. If we go every... Let's just go every other block. I see what's happening here. This is a fun way to create, like, a randomized like sound machine or something. Like, you could definitely use this as a randomizer, I'm realizing, because let's see here. So if I'm trying to see if I can get it to trigger that and then go around, but it doesn't seem to. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, I don't fully understand how these work yet. I think the community is going to have to figure this out a bit more because I certainly do not understand a lot of the more technical things. But let's read through a little bit more of this because there are some other features to this. I kind of went quiet there, but let's see. So if you surround this in wool, I guess, or maybe it doesn't have to be surrounded. Yeah, look at this. So this doesn't trigger that, whereas normally it would. Now, I'm interested to see what is the range on that. Like, what is this blocking? Okay, so it doesn't block that. It doesn't block that. Wow, that created some lag. So it looks like everything... What about here? Okay, so it looks like it creates, like, a cone of... So I could probably do here, but not here. Yeah, so it looks like it actually creates, like, an outward cone of, like, silence, basically. So anything placed within this kind of distance is not going to trigger the sensor. But as soon as you place anything, like, even slightly outside of this, it's going to travel down. But, of course, this could be extended. If I put this here now, that won't travel there because it's blocking it off. Interesting. Okay. That's kind of cool. So I assume that the shape, basically, for how this would work would be like this. These blocks and everything inside of them would be safe. You could place anything in this area, and it's not going to set off the sensor. But as soon as you place anything, like, outside of this, provided it can see it, then you'll be able to set off the sensor. Okay, cool. So the other thing is they have a cooldown period of 1 tick. Basically just to, we saw that in an example there. It kind of takes it a second to allow another input to come in, even though, yeah, you can see it pauses for a second. That way you can't just get yourself locked in like an infinite thing. Because other words, they would just bounce back and forth repeatedly. Another thing is the fullness of a bundle now shows up regardless of whether advanced tooltips are on or not. So last video you would have seen if you watched it that the fullness meter there at the bottom where it says fullness 0 out of 64, that would only appear if you had tooltips on. So you can see down here if I turn off tooltips using F3H, that will still appear there even though I don't have tooltips on. So whether or not that's on, that still appears. Stalactites and stalagmites merge if the tips are next to each other until you press shift while placing. So let's take a look. How do you actually, what are they called? I'm not realizing I don't know what the actual item is called. Pointed dripstone, okay. So if we were to, oh, that looks awesome. I love that. Okay. Unless you pressed shift and then you can create like a wall. That is really detailed. I love that. That's going to add for so many different like features and stuff, or like just design options and stuff. I love that. That's really cool. Let me make sure it doesn't go to night real quick. There are some technical changes, mostly stuff to do with the way that Skulk sensors detect vibrations. There's just some new game function behind the scenes stuff to make sure that this works. Other than that, that is pretty much the entirety of what is in this snapshot. Obviously, this is pretty huge. The closer the vibration is, the stronger the redstone signal is. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So hold on a second. That must mean that footsteps are like... Okay, I bet a lightning strike can trigger this from 15 blocks. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If I summon a lightning bolt here... Oops, / summon lightning bolt. One more in. I don't understand how this works at all. Oh, it's got to be the opposite of what I'm thinking, isn't it? It must be... Okay, so footsteps must be able to be detected from a further distance, whereas a lightning strike has to be close. So the lower the frequency value, the further away it can detect it from? Is that what it means? Because if I summon a lightning bolt here, it's not triggering it, but if I summon it here, obviously it is. So that must be what it is. It depends on the higher the frequency, the closer it has to be, I guess? Which is weird. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but maybe I'm, again, misunderstanding actually how this is working. But that is going to do it for this snapshot video. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this. I think this is going to be huge for redstone stuff. I'm very excited to see what people do with it and how farms are changed using this. It's got some very interesting mechanics and functions, so I'm interested to see what people do with all of that. And I'm interested to see how the caves are going to look once we get the actual proper sizes for the dripstone caves. I'm pretty excited to see that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'm going to try to do a snapshot video every week, every week that these come out. So if you want to get caught up on all the new stuff, be sure to do that. But again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.